In the churning waters of the South China Sea, where geopolitical fault lines converge and the specter of great power rivalry looms, the naval forces of the Philippines and Vietnam stand as sentinels of national sovereignty. These two Southeast Asian nations, bound by their shared defiance of Chinese maritime ambitions, have embarked on divergent yet parallel paths to bolster their naval capabilities. As the Indo-Pacific theater grows ever more contested, a profound examination of the Philippine Navy and the People's Army of Vietnam Navy reveals not only their respective strengths and shortcomings, but also the broader strategic currents shaping their destinies. The Philippine Navy, with its 24,500 active personnel, including 10,300 Marines, is a force shaped by necessity and constraint. Its fleet, numbering 92 combat vessels and 16 auxiliaries, is a patchwork of ambition and obsolescence. At its core are two Jose Rizal-class frigates, South Korean-built and commissioned between 2020 and 2021, which represent the vanguard of Manila's modernization efforts. These vessels, equipped with advanced radar and anti-ship missiles, signal a shift toward credible deterrence. The addition of the Conrado Yap-class corvette, a repurposed South Korean ship, and the anticipated commissioning of a second corvette as PS-40 further bolster the PN's surface fleet. 3 Del Pilar-class offshore patrol vessels, former U.S. Coast Guard cutters, provide maritime law enforcement capabilities, while a modest aviation arm of 27 manned aircraft and 8 unmanned aerial vehicles supports reconnaissance. The Navy's amphibious capabilities, anchored by 3 aging U.S.-built landing ship tanks and the Tagbanua-class landing craft, reflect a force designed for archipelagic defense rather than power projection. Yet, the Philippine Navy's Achilles heel is its reliance on outdated platforms, many dating to the Second World War, and the absence of submarines, which limits its ability to contest the undersea domain. In contrast, the Vietnamese Navy, with an estimated 40,000 personnel drawn from a broader military establishment of 482,000, projects a more robust and assertive maritime presence. Its fleet of approximately 65 combat vessels is smaller in number but formidable in capability. The crown jewel of the Pavan Navy is its fleet of 6 Russian-built Kilo-class diesel-electric submarines, acquired between 2009 and 2017. These submarines, capable of anti-ship and anti-submarine warfare, grant Vietnam a strategic edge in sea denial, a critical asset in the contested waters of the South China Sea. 4 Gepard-class frigates, commissioned between 2011 and 2018, and 10 Molniya-class missile corvettes, some locally built, form a potent surface fleet armed with Russian Club and Indian BrahMos anti-ship missiles. Vietnam's limited naval aviation, primarily consisting of Ka-28 helicopters, constrains its long-range capabilities, but its focus on missile-armed vessels and submarines reflects a deliberate strategy of asymmetric deterrence. Unlike the Philippines, Vietnam has cultivated a nascent domestic defense industry, producing corvettes and patrol boats, which reduces its dependence on foreign suppliers and enhances its strategic autonomy. The modernization trajectories of these two navies underscore their divergent approaches to maritime power. The Philippines, under its ambitious $35 billion Horizon 3 modernization program, 2013 to 2028, seeks to transform its navy into a credible deterrent. The acquisition of a $375 million BrahMos anti-ship missile system from India in 2022, with plans for a ship-mounted variant, marks a significant leap in offensive capability. Japan's reported plan to export 6 Abukuma-class destroyer escorts further signals international support for Manila's maritime ambitions. The establishment of the Coastal Defense Regiment, set to be fully operational by 2026 with shore-based BrahMos systems, reflects a shift toward anti-access and area denial strategies. Yet, the Philippine Navy's modernization is hampered by chronic underfunding and the lingering effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, which have delayed earlier phases of the Horizon program. The nation's reliance on foreign suppliers, particularly the United States and South Korea, and the absence of a domestic defense industry, expose vulnerabilities in its long-term naval development. Vietnam, by contrast, has pursued a more advanced and diversified modernization path. Its acquisition of Russian submarines and frigates, coupled with Indian and Israeli missile systems, reflects a pragmatic approach to countering China's maritime dominance. Vietnam's investment in domestic shipbuilding, exemplified by the local production of Malnia-class corvettes, positions it as a regional leader in defense self-sufficiency. The PAVN Navy's focus on submarines and missile systems aligns with a strategy of asymmetric warfare designed to deter larger adversaries through precision and stealth. However, Vietnam's heavy reliance on Russian equipment introduces risks, particularly in the face of potential sanctions or supply chain disruptions. Its limited naval aviation and smaller fleet size, compared to major powers like China, further constrain its ability to project force beyond coastal waters. Strategically, both navies are shaped by the imperatives of the South China Sea, where Chinese expansionism threatens their exclusive economic zones. The Philippines, as a major non-NATO ally of the United States, leverages partnerships with Washington, Tokyo, and Beira to bolster its capabilities. Its active archipelagic defense strategy emphasizes territorial defense and deterrence, with the Jose Rizal-class frigates and BrahMos missiles serving as symbols of resolve. Vietnam, while lacking formal alliances, pursues a three no's policy: no foreign bases, no military alliances, no alignment with one power against another, yet has cultivated defense ties with Russia, India, and others. Its submarines and missile corvettes provide a credible deterrent, particularly in contested areas like the Spratlys Islands. According to the 2025 Global Firepower Rankings, Vietnam's overall military strength, 23rd globally, surpasses that of the Philippines, 41st, reflecting Hanoi's more advanced naval capabilities. The strengths and weaknesses of these navies reveal the broader dynamics of their maritime strategies. The Philippine Navy benefits from international partnerships and a growing missile capability, but is hindered by an aging fleet and the absence of submarines. Vietnam's submarine fleet and domestic defense industry provide strategic depth, but its reliance on Russian systems and limited aviation capabilities pose challenges. Both nations face the daunting task of countering China's naval juggernaut, which boasts aircraft carriers and a vast array of modern vessels. Social media discussions on platforms like X highlight regional interest in bolstering both navies, with suggestions that India could supply missile vessels and anti-submarine corvettes to counter Chinese influence in the Indo-Pacific. In the final analysis, Vietnam's Navy holds a clear edge over its Philippine counterpart thanks to its submarines, missile-armed fleet, and domestic production capabilities. Yet the Philippines, with its strategic alliances and ongoing modernization, is narrowing the gap, albeit slowly. Both nations, bound by their defiance of a common adversary, embody the struggle for sovereignty in a region where maritime power is both shield and sword. As the South China Sea remains a crucible of geopolitical tension, the Philippine and Vietnamese navies will continue to evolve, their fates intertwined with the broader currents of Indo-Pacific security.